Greetings and welcome to the Transform Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Anastasio. It's Friday, May 6th, 2022, and this is episode 57. As we head into the weekend, guys, we're going to get this one out to you, be dropping in the evening, so gives you some weekend listening to look forward to. In addition to the episode we dropped earlier in the week, I think it was on Wednesday, May 4th, the one more content, and you could probably guess what that episode was all about. Just another attempt amongst a handful, I think, of the 56 episodes that have previously aired on this podcast, to implore you guys to consider pumping out more volume, higher volume of content, just getting more at-bats, okay? Just think of it in that sort of slang. If you do follow American baseball, or if that term applies to other sports or whatever term works for you to get you to do it, it's the idea that, you'll never know what works until you've tried enough things and experimented enough, and you'll never get found in this vast galaxy of the internet without pumping a lot of content out there, without reaching people in lots of different nooks and crannies across the World Wide Web. So, just a little plug for episode 56. Today's episode is going to be very, very quick, guys, and I'm pretty sure I'm actually going to follow through on that this time compared to other times. Let me say this. We have talked about many, many episodes, I can't even name them all, the importance of at least considering things like video content, audio content, doing things besides just textual posts. Now, if you have to do text because you can't do anything else, that's fine. Because remember, the name of the game is content. But, mixing in video and audio is super important if you really want to start connecting with audiences that prefer that kind of medium. And the numbers just show that they do. Okay? So we've talked about that a lot. And that's not really what this episode is about. But I want to start there because if you're not doing it at all, then this wouldn't apply to you. This whole episode would not apply to you. But, I think... If you think of it this way, guys, so video content, it's important. It's important if you can at all make that happen, to get some video content up on your social media platforms and showing your face to the audience, showing that you're a real person, showing that you're authentic, all that kind of stuff, right? So I think that if you can get over that hump, then this tip applies to you, okay, what I'm going to talk about in this episode. And that is that when you post video content on your website, okay, so now I'm not talking so much about social media, although it could apply there as well, but let's start with your sort of home base, okay, your World Wide Web home base, okay. On your website, if you just post a video, that's fine. I mean, that's good. That is a great start, okay. That is definitely going to be a positive for you to have video content on your website. What's even better is if you post that video, you transcribe what you're saying in that video, okay, so you strip out the audio and transcribe it to text, and then place that text with the video. And the reason I say that, guys, is actually manifold. The main one is from a search engine optimization perspective. So you are going to optimize your website for search engines, namely, say Google, by having both forms of content there. So the video is there. Obviously, you're saying things in that video that can be picked up and crawled. But the text is also on the web page. And so you're kind of like getting this double SEO hit by doing that. Okay? So again, just raising the chances that your organic reach from that page is going to be improved. Okay, just elevating the chance that you're going to be able to kind of get out there and have a higher likelihood of being picked up high in the search engines. Okay, so there's that. Now, there's other reasons why you would want to transcribe, and they now go into this sort of downstream effect of making things easier for your audience, creating more content out of that original video, and all types of stuff like that. So let's just walk through those kind of quickly. So first of all, if you have a situation where your content has reached somebody who cannot consume that video for whatever reason, maybe there's a disability there. Maybe they can't see well, not that they can't see the video. Maybe they can't hear the audio in the video. They can see the video, but they can't hear you. They have the transcript underneath it. And so they can read that instead, or they can read it and get the gist. If you caption the video, obviously that's even more helpful, because then they can do sort of they can watch the video and read the captions. Or maybe they just aren't in a position to watch or listen to a video. Maybe they're sneaking their phone out in the middle of a meeting and they just want to read something really fast. And they can't plug in their headphones or listen to the video or something like that. So just by putting both things there, it's kind of like this little signal to your audience, like, hey, I thought about you and I made this content available in more than one way. So here, consume it this way or consume it that way. So that's kind of a big deal, guys, just to kind of put yourself out there in more than one format. It's super, super, it's just a really super appreciated thing, I think, by your audience, that, especially ones that are kind of like repeat audience, maybe they could be coming by more often, but they start to see like, oh man, like, I can consume this content multiple ways. I don't have to just wait until I can watch this video tonight or over the weekend or something like that. So that's kind of a nice thing there. The other thing is, once you've transcribed your video, you now have more content for other platforms, right? For platforms that may be more text friendly, or just, even if they're not text friendly, you may just use the text as additional content. So for example, you might take that same video, post it over on LinkedIn. Now you can also put the transcript in there. You might take that same video, put it over on Twitter. You can put some of the transcript in there, maybe as a thread, break it out into a thread or something, if it fits, or condense it and make it into a thread. So you have suddenly a lot of options, right? Like maybe the transcript is like a pretty tight blog post, and now you can actually, take it and put it over on like medium.com, if you have like a medium.com presence or something like that, where you just put a lot of written stuff up over there. Okay, so just by improving your SEO chances, by putting up the video, transcribing it, and adding the text underneath it, now all of a sudden you're reaching more people because you're making it more convenient for them to consume the content. You're getting onto more platforms because you just have more options now at your disposal. And, a lengthy transcript, geez, that can be multiple Twitter threads, right? Like paragraph 1 could be a Twitter thread one day. Paragraph 2 could be a Twitter thread another day. Or it can be an Instagram caption, right? You could say, okay, this is long enough or this is short enough to be one Instagram caption. Maybe it becomes multiple pieces of content on Instagram that become multiple captions, right? So just, again, guys, this is a theme that just pops up left and right on this podcast, but you have to start to see past the initial intent for that content and say, what else can I do with this, right? What else can I use this for? What am I maybe not seeing at the initial level with this, but now I can look far enough to say, okay, there's more here than meets the eye, or there's more here than I originally planned for, that I can actually use this content in multiple ways. So again, that wasn't really the theme of this podcast. The theme was to improve your search engine optimization by putting both on your page. So that's really the big takeaway here, guys, is if you were hosting video on your website, also put the transcript beneath it, just pair them together and have them both there, coupled together. But these other things I'm talking about kind of end up sort of downstream advantages, downstream benefits that you can derive from getting into that habit. Now, you might be saying, okay, Chris, that's great. Well, I'm not going to sit there and like type up the whole video or whatever. Like, what do you suggest I do to get that transcript? Well, to be honest with you, we're going to have to come back to you on that, because in all sincerity, there are some good products out there. You guys can just Google, best transcription software, and you're going to see different types of products for different needs. You're going to see some that are like, really high-end stuff that's going to be costly. You're going to see other stuff that's a little more casual. That's why I hesitate to tell you, like, go use this one, right? But if you do a search on that, you guys are going to find a lot of responses on that Google search. So it's not going to be hard to find these things. I would encourage you to do that and look and see what the menu looks like, and then decide what fits where in terms of what you can go ahead and afford for your business and that sort of thing, and what's going to fit your business the best. But I would say that this is nearly impossible if you don't get some kind of software. Like if you're just trying to straight up transcribe by listening, I don't care how fast a typer you are, this is going to take you forever. So you have to have a tool, and then you have to kind of expect that you're going to have to look at it after the tool does what it does. I mean, you're going to have to give it a once over. And, if that turns out to be kind of a heavy lift, I would say then you pivot over to, let's say, like a Fiverr.com, and you hire an editor for $5 to just clean these things up for you or something like that. So you put a little investment into it, and I think you get a big return on it because it has so many different advantages. There's so many different things you can do with this kind of transcribed content. So just keep that in mind. But I think, I definitely want to mention this, guys, because I don't want to make it sound so simple that you just like rush out to do this tomorrow and then you realize you hit a brick wall. You got to get a tool. Definitely do a Google search on that. Then after the tool does what it does, you're going to have to give it a look. And you're going to have to maybe do a little tightening up and a little bit of cleaning up to get things where they need to be for it. Okay. Now, if you guys have any questions on that, if you're like, hey, I want somebody to help me pick a tool or I want to consult on that or whatever, drop a line to us. Come over and see us on Facebook or LinkedIn, transform.com website. And of course, putting in a plug as usual for the podcast, like us, like it, subscribe, share it, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, if you need any kind of guidance or you want to be sort of steered in the right direction, we'll be happy to help you with that. Okay, guys? So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, as we head into the weekend. We'll see you next week, episode 58, 59. Definitely excited to head into the 60s, get into our next tier of episodes here pretty soon. But hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you so much for listening. This is Christopher Anastasio signing off from the Transform Podcast. Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.